And hello. Part 23, as I say, we were going to carry straight on. So here we are. So, yeah, I was just saying about, how sometimes, these discussions can go from, one extreme to another, where you really feel like you're butting heads with someone and it's a big clash, But I mean, sometimes, just given a bit of time and a bit of, kind of willingness to meet each other halfway, we can reach some good agreements and we can reach some, very pleasant discussions, that doesn't have to involve us all agreeing on everything and believing the same things. But, it's that just, willingness to be open to others and to respect others. That is, the big thing here, because it'll often end with, what, and I actually never didn't mean to disrespect you, I didn't mean to offend you, and we'll be saying these kind of things to each other, after something that started off very much along the lines of, well, what the hell are you talking about? Oh, that's nonsense. Where did you get that from? It can just, get blown up. But then there are occasions where it can be solved, which is very nice. It is very nice, actually. It doesn't happen too often, unfortunately. So this is where I'm going to talk a bit about the other extreme. And this is something that I did write about in the book, Pure Observation. And this is possibly why that person who gave me a negative review called the whole book an extended Facebook rant. Because, it is something that I highlighted and went into a bit of detail around. And there was a whole chapter about, I'm going to say a woman. I'm not going to give any names, but I may as well say a woman because it's stated as a woman in the book. And this is someone who, just really caused some issues and some irritations more than anything in the group, because it was just all very, very arrogant, very, very arrogant, and totally unwilling to look at any other views besides what she had chosen to believe. Very much against the Lutz story, very much demonizing them, always saying, oh, shame on them for what they did. That poor family died and they cashed in on it, and, oh, it's terrible. But then, we're talking to someone who would trip herself up with details and, contradict herself left, right, and centre and make herself look quite foolish in the end. And I wasn't the only one who observed this. I wasn't, I mean, other people would say, you're saying something that simply isn't true there. You're kind of, you're making things up here to throw at this family that aren't true. No one ever said that. That was never proved. That this is something that's just come from nowhere. You've just made it up, clearly. I mean, like one day it was, they're terrible people because they made lots of money out of, the DeFeo family's murders. They exploited it. And then another time was, no, they didn't make a lot of money, but I'm glad they didn't make a lot of money because they didn't deserve to. So big contradiction there straight away. And it just went on from there. It was ridiculous. But this was someone who was never willing to discuss like an adult. Whenever questioned or challenged, it was always a case of disappearing and not answering at all, or occasionally saying, how dare you butt into what I'm talking about? Well, if you don't want people to butt in, then maybe social media is not the right place for you, especially when we're talking admins of the group who are, kind of doing their job by monitoring, all the actions and activities within the group. It was just totally ridiculous, really, having a go at the admins for daring to, kind of try to open up a discussion and say, well, I don't think that you're being fair there. Maybe we could look at this another way. Rather than be an adult and discuss it, this person would just blow up and get defensive and nasty and, accuse people of being keyboard warriors, bullies. We were all bullying her, but actually she was the bully. She was being the nasty one for being very, very ignorant. And actually, as we say, on a number of occasions, really revealing herself as not having much knowledge, talking about the lawyer who wrote the original book. No, the lawyer was William Webber, the author of the book was Jay Anson. So, are you telling us that you've never actually read the book and yet you know that it was definitely nonsense? Yeah. It's someone who, did contradict, the idea of, well, they were never really there. Oh, it was all nonsense. Nothing ever really happened. But Jodie was just a cat that jumped up the bushes, right? So, again, if they weren't there, how were they seeing cat's eyes through through the windows? So, yeah, I think you get the picture. What we were up against here. Some of it, well, most of it was quite laughable, really, and it was quite entertaining. But it was always twisted and turned around as anyone who disagreed was being a bully and getting at her. Now the thing is that this is someone who would keep reposting pictures of herself at the house. And, she was so sanctimonious and sickeningly sentimental about the DeFeo family. It's like, well, why do you want to take a picture of yourself there then? If that's the place they were murdered. Yeah, what? I don't understand why you'd want to do that. And if you feel that all this attention to the house is bad, then why are you there? But what really made it worse was then there were pictures and a short video of herself at the DeFeo grave, placing fake flowers around it and saying, "Oh, sad, sad, sad." Like, yeah, it is sad, but it's also someone's grave. It's not a monument. It's not a tourist attraction. But here you are totally contradicting yourself, drawing attention here. That is, bang out of order. And, the majority of people would agree that, we shouldn't be, taking pictures of the grave. We should not be doing that. And certainly not using them on social media as by way of getting attention. Oh, look at me, look where I am. Yeah, because I mean, like I said, just so much about this person contradicted herself. She would contradict herself left, right, and centre with hypocrisy and, outing herself as not really having the knowledge that she would profess to have in reality. But the thing that she would, say more than once is, when you're there, know what? I mean, what can you possibly just know? I mean, like, does she think she's the only person who's ever visited? Okay, maybe she got there and, it was like a case of, well, I really do feel that now I'm here. I don't think that there was ever a haunting. I don't feel that, that this place is haunted or ever was. I just feel it's a very sad, sort of place, site of a murder and the grave and things like that. Yeah, fair enough. But to go there and say, I know, as though she'd had some kind of divine awakening and then was then trying to educate the whole world, that, I know everything and anyone who, thinks otherwise is stupid. Yeah. So that's the kind of thing that, we have been up against. I mean, that's one of a few, really, really difficult characters, that we've had. Some of them, they've actually got into discussions, though. They've actually been willing to, at least argue their points rather than just say, go away and stop bullying me. Yeah, so they would actually, get into, a long discussion or argument. You think, well, at least, yeah, you're kind of trying to justify yourself, but we're talking a real one-off here who, kind of had such staunch views and opinions and all kept saying everyone's entitled to an opinion. Yeah, okay, we can have an opinion as long as it matches yours. Yeah, because that's pretty much what was being said. Yeah, so yeah, just wanted to fill you in on that. That this is the kind of thing that can and does happen. It's the kind of personal squabbles and even real vendettas against each other that can happen. But the one thing I always took from this was I took such great satisfaction and pleasure in booting her out of the group and blocking her from it. She's actually had the nerve to try and come back, having changed a name and a Facebook profile and whatnot since. But needless to say, she was declined. Yeah, so that was more of an entertaining piece than anything, but with a little info in there for you. Okay, back soon. Thank you. Many blessings.